Friday forecast time. Nebraska hits the road for the first time this season at Oregon. But before we get to the Ducks, let's talk about the Red Wolves. Nebraska gave up a lot of yards on defense, but put up a lot of yards on offense. What is your the biggest concern for you going into the Oregon week?
Well, obviously it has to be the defense, knowing the history of what Oregon has done on offense and the playmakers they have in space. They're going to have very similar type of receivers and skill players that Nebraska saw against Arkansas State. I don't think Oregon's going to have the quarterback play Arkansas State have, but I think Nebraska put a lot out there that a team like Oregon is going to really go at and test because Nebraska, especially on the back end, I think showed some weaknesses on Saturday night.
Nebraska with Trey Bryant, the workhorse, ran for 192 yards. They're going to manage his body during the season. He didn't practice earlier in the week in the first couple days. Do you see him being the workhorse as we go forward here?
Well, I thought it was interesting. Trey Bryant said that it was the most carries he's ever had, even in high school, because his high school team, Christian Brothers in St. Louis, is so good. He never really got any more than 20 carries in most weeks. So I think it will be something to follow, Andy, how his body reacts to the workload each week, particularly that knee, because they have been very cognizant of that knee throughout fall camp. You know, they rested him during camp days, and here we are on a Monday, Tuesday this week. He's going to be rested on some of those days as well. So it will be something to watch, but I know they're very confident in the other guys as well.
Oregon touts its running back, Royce Freeman. He ran for 150 yards and 4 touchdowns in a 77-21 win against Southern Utah. Mike Riley said that this guy, Freeman, seems like he's on a 10-year plan because he's been around forever.
Well, Nebraska got fortunate last year. He was running through the black shirts in that game in Lincoln until he got hurt. And I think that was a turning point in that game for Oregon. And you could argue the loss at Nebraska was a turning point in their entire season as everything went downhill after that loss. So they're going to, you know Freeman's going to be hungry for this game, knowing what that game did in Lincoln a year ago to their season and to his season as far as the injury goes.
Autzen Stadium, it holds 54,000 fans, but Mike Riley called it one of the top 5 venues in terms of noise level that he's ever coached in. What kind of a challenge is it going to be for a young football team like Nebraska to go in there and work on communicating without communicating, so to speak?
Well, first of all, I think there's going to be about 15,000 Nebraska fans. You look at the history of that, Andy. Every time Nebraska's gone out west, whether it's UCLA, USC, Washington, now Oregon, there have been 25,000. Fresno State, 20,000 fans. So I think you are going to get around 15,000 in that 54. So that's going to make a difference. But it's a day game, not a night game. I thought that's another big break Nebraska got. With that said, it's still going to be a very loud atmosphere, particularly for the offense. I have a lot of confidence on Tanner Lee. He's such a poised, cool customer that he is not going to really, I think, make some of those mistakes. He's a veteran. He's been in games before. I don't think this is different than having a freshman making his first start on the road.
It's a measuring stick game, isn't it? This is one that we're going to know a lot about this Husker team when they leave Oregon.
Well, a year ago, this game kind of paved the way to Nebraska's 7-0 start, and we kind of thought it would. They had a win in Indiana and some things like that, but it got them to 7-0. I think this year, you look at this Oregon game, it could pave the way to possibly a 5-0 start. Now, Nebraska's about a 10-point dog, so it's not going to be easy to go into Osmond this week here and win. But if they can get a win on the road, on Fox, on national TV, this could really do wonders to kind of elevating this season a notch. If they lose, it kind of really puts a lot more pressure, especially kind of in those opening Big Ten games at Illinois and the Rutgers game.
And a fun fact, Huskers going to wear red on the road. That doesn't happen often.
Oregon, with all their uniforms, I guess they want to wear white, and Nebraska have to wear red.
They're going white on a uniform that was designed in part by cancer victims in terms of Children's Hospital to promote their cause. It will be a fun afternoon in Eugene, Oregon, Saturday afternoon, 3:30 kickoff, and it will be on Fox.